When I was 22, I bought this house. Right before getting married to my wife, Meredith. This is where I discovered minimalism, started my YouTube channel. These were some of the more intense and yet fun years of my life. About a year and a half later, we moved on to our second multifamily. It turned out it was in one of the worst parts of the city. Like, somebody got shot behind our house and there was bullet holes in our garbage cans. Like, it was pretty sketchy. At one point, there were heroin addicts living in our Airbnb. I was hustling at this point. This is also where I left my job when I was 24. And then we got pregnant. And we realized that we didn't want to raise kids in this place that had almost no windows. So we started looking for other houses, and one Sunday afternoon after church, we stopped by this house. We just walked through it even though it seemed like something that would be too nice for us ever to have. And after running the numbers with the additional dwelling unit that it had, I realized that we could actually make this work. So we put in an offer, it got accepted, but things didn't go according to our plan. A couple weeks before closing, we found out that my son Michael had passed. We ended up going through the last couple weeks at our previous apartment were some of the worst of our lives. And instead of this house being a place where we would raise my son, it ended up becoming more of a new chapter, a clean slate, getting away from the old memories of the previous house. I will say this house really came at the perfect time for us. I remember sitting with the exact same view that you have right now, looking out and thinking, this is an Airbnb. This is not my house. Our last apartment had one tiny window in the kitchen. It was dark. The windows that we did have just looked out into alleys, and this just felt like a dream. At the time, I was hosting a show in my living room for Rocket Mortgage, and we ended up having to build this in order to make it match kind of our last house. And this brick wall, which you've probably seen, has been something I've always wanted to have, like an actual brick wall. I've got to say, it's probably one of the best investments I've ever made, just because it looks super cool and it has added so much to background and just kind of give it like a cool aesthetic. A few months later, we got pregnant with my daughter, Laura. This is where she had some of her first steps.
Hi kids, Dad thought of starting a vlog for you guys so that you can see it later.
We can do like a tour of the house and let you know what's going on so that you can see it later and see what we're like, because I don't remember what Dad was like when he was our age. We just saw like one picture, so I think that'd be cool. Do you want to see something funny? This is my second video. I'm trying to see if that works. They might all be gone by the time you guys actually see it.
This is where we filmed together. And honestly, if there's one thing I could kind of go back and change about these last couple of years, it would be to film a lot more of that. There's one video that I made kind of for my wife for Mother's Day, but I did post it on this channel. And just seeing like that kind of snapshot, that first year of my daughter's life, is one of my favorite videos I've ever done. And I just am trying to just film more stuff, even if I don't post it, but just to have it. And I would kind of recommend that you do the same, because it's really cool to look back on. Exactly right here is where my son was born. We had a home birth. It was an absolutely amazing decision because it was comfortable.
He's just kind of like, what is going on out here, guys?
Meredith was able to walk upstairs like an hour later, go to bed. It was just a great time.
Hi. Hi, buddy.
That's your baby.
Yeah.
Is he cute?
Yeah.
Do you love him?
Yeah.
Are you glad he's out of mommy's tummy now? You can kiss him.
No. I can get him up. I can.
And now it is time to say goodbye. This right here was our bedroom. Our closet. We ended up finishing off this space right in here for our daughter to have her bedroom. The original plan was that our son would be here and our daughter would be over here on this side. The only problem was that we knew that this had a bit of a shelf life because I can't really stand up in it. Now the reason we had to do that is because this was our bedroom and the other bedroom was used for my home office, which I needed to be in throughout the day. As you can see, this light takes up a lot of the room by itself. And then this was my setup throughout a lot of the past 4 or 5 years. This was where I started to take YouTube more seriously. I hit 500,000 subscribers here. At that point, I had got my Tesla, which was my screensaver on my computer for like 3 years. And I kind of don't really believe in that type of stuff, but I had this vision board, if you will, of seeing that once I hit 500,000 subscribers, I'd be able to get a Tesla, something that just seemed like a crazy dream that would never ever happen, and therefore would be a fun goal. And then this is the place where it happened. Countless hours were put in here, you know, making a YouTube plan, if you will. Really weird to see this chapter coming to an end. I've been building this office for years. It's coming back down like months after actually finishing it. It's pretty echoey, but this was our kitchen right here. And if you notice, all of my thumbnails of my best videos are me sitting at this counter. We had a dining room table back there that we actually never used, and I don't think we're taking it with us. The neighbors are over there, so I'm not gonna get too close, but we moved from like a city to having chickens right here. And that was a super cool part of our life. And that was something that honestly, I never saw myself as doing. After living in the city that long, I never thought that like I would be somebody with chickens. But it's very interesting how life seems to have different chapters. I feel like I've lived multiple lives. I've had the scrappy kid trying to figure it out. Then I was working 3 jobs at the same time, trying to make something work. We moved to my mini retirement phase at our last house, where I was just running Airbnb, doing a little bit with YouTube, and dabbling in real estate. And then we're here with a family and 2 kids and chickens. And now I feel like we have moved to the next chapter of our life, where we're gonna look back at these days as the good old days, where we were figuring it out and discovering who we were as people, building our family, and kind of moving on to that next chapter of kind of like hopefully landing where we're gonna be for the rest of our lives. And so I just wanna thank each and every one of you for coming along this journey of kind of self-discovery with me. I feel like I've become a very different person than I was when I started this channel. And I think this channel and talking to you guys and getting feedback and just kind of being forced to grow has helped me become a better person. And I want to continue being unrecognizable from the person I was 5 years ago. Every 5 years, every year, I want to be a better version of myself. And that is kind of my goal with this channel, is to learn things to better myself and to share those learnings with you, and the struggles and fails as well, because there's been a lot. But well, I'm literally taking the last few things out of here and saying goodbye. So I guess one last time, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to drop a like, subscribe, and I'll see you next week.